Hey guys, it's Mastermind2368 here, and I hope that y'all are having, or you had a good holiday break, depending on when you're watching this video. And with the year almost being done, I just wanted to talk about some of my favorite games that I played. Now the games that I played this year are not necessarily all new releases. In fact, there's only one new release that I'm going to be talking about today, but I enjoy playing older games, and I'm really happy with the games I was able to play this year. So without further ado, here are my top 5 favorite games that I played in 2022. So number 5 on my list has got to be Mario Sunshine. This game I found to be super fun, and I just loved the tropical atmosphere, and I loved how overall the levels and stuff, it was all a beach theme. But obviously there's some difficulty issues where there's some levels that are just impossibly hard. I personally hated the sections where you didn't have FLUDD because there's some jumps that just seem so impossible. The rolling cubes in outer space, those drove me insane. But the theme alone and the idea of the game and the good levels of the game, they were great. I loved this game. But obviously there are all those parts that do bog down the experience just a little bit. So number 4 on my list is Life is Strange 2. This is a game about two brothers, Sean and Daniel, who are in Washington State and they're trying to get down to Mexico. And it's actually a really fun game. I found it to be a really compelling story, but the most enjoyable part to me was playing with my sister, because when we were playing it together, we got to talk about the story and what we think is going to happen next, and the characters who we hated and the characters who we loved, things like that. When you have someone to talk to about all that sort of stuff, it's really fun to go through and make your theories and everything like that. So if you're locked up in your room and you're trying to play, it still might be fun, but if you have someone to play with, I would highly recommend trying out at least Life is Strange 1, which I'd say is a better game overall, but Life is Strange 2 is still not a bad game. Would totally recommend playing it. Speaking of games with the younger brother, A Plague Tale Requiem is number 3 on my list. This game is about a 15-year-old girl named Amicia de Rune and her 5-year-old brother, Hugo. The pair embark on an epic journey of desperation, and it tells an absolutely heart-wrenching yet beautiful story. The gameplay was satisfying, the visuals were incredible, and in the perfect world, it would easily be my favorite game that I played this year. However, there were a few things that just held it back a little bit for me. Firstly, the game had optimization issues when I started it, and it ran very poorly. On my laptop with the Ryzen 5000 series CPU and a 1650 mobile GPU, I was struggling to get a constant 30 FPS at 720p. Fortunately, it did receive an update before I got too far into the story, but it just left a sour taste in my mouth for the whole game. The start of the game also had some areas which felt slow or unrelated to the plot at large, but once I got past those, it was a blast. If you're interested in checking out this game, make sure to play the first one first, as it builds off of it, but otherwise I highly recommend going through this game. Number 2 on my list is the most different out of all the games that are on my list. It's no other than Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2X for the original Xbox. Tony Hawk 2X is basically just a slightly enhanced version of the original 2 games, but released on the original Xbox with a few extra levels. The reason why I love this game so much is because of the addictive and satisfying nature found within Tony Hawk games. Most of the games on here I played for a few weeks or a month at most, but I started playing this game in February, and I was still actively playing it until I 100%ed every skater a few weeks ago. It's difficult to understand what makes skating games so fun if you've never played one, but there's something just so satisfying when you land a large combo. I'm positive that I played Tony Hawk 2X more than any other game this year, just because of how addicting and fun it was. Not to mention, you can literally play as Spider-Man, which is so amazing. And you can also play as Officer Dick, which is basically Jack Black in a cop, and he's pretty cool. And finally, the number 1 spot on my list is Silent Hill 2. In the past, I've not really done much with horror before, but this Halloween season, I just wanted to try something out, so I decided to dive straight in with Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is about a man named James Sunderland who goes to a town named Silent Hill after he receives a letter signed by his late wife. Although James is skeptical of the legitimacy of this letter, he goes on the off chance that his wife is still somehow alive. I don't really want to say more about this game because it gets into spoiler territory pretty fast, but this game was so beautiful, nuanced, and terrifying. I wasn't expecting some cheap jump scares to get me in the Halloween spirit, but I left it feeling shocked at the powerful emotional experience I just went through. Even though I beat it back in October, I still constantly rewatch the cutscenes from this game on YouTube, and they're still so incredibly powerful to me. Well, that about wraps it up for my top 5 games list, and obviously there was games that I played, but I just couldn't include on here because you can only have 5 games in a top 5 list. But anyways, I hope that y'all enjoyed this video, and I'd love to hear what y'all's favorite games were that you played this year, and maybe I'll check some of them out. But that's about it for this video. I hope that you have a good day. Goodbye.